I'll manage it. I don't play the guitar, so I'm going to put it away. It's getting out of the way. It does. Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to see you all here. I've been told we have an ageist sanctuary because that side of the sanctuary has way worse sound than that side of the sanctuary. So if you care about hearing me, then that side's now the new popular side. Yes, exactly. That's why I'm saying we're a bit ageist here. No, but I do hope that you can hear all around the sanctuary. I realize that we do sometimes have problems with the sound. We are working on it and trying to fix it so that everyone can hear equally well. We're going to turn to page 129 for Shabbat morning service number 5. First Shabbat of the month we'll do in service number 5. But I thought we're going to read in the Torah reading about the plague of darkness. So I thought we'll do the service that begins with the wonderful reading of addressing God as the source of light. So I thought that fits nicely together. So if you can, please do stand. Tovu, ma tovu, halecha, Yaakov, Mishknotecha Yisrael, Yisrael, Va'ani berov chastecha, ahavo beitecha, eштachave, el hechal kodshecha, beiratecha, hechal kodshecha, biratecha. Adonai ahavti me'on beitecha, u'mekom mishkan כבודך, ואני אשתחווה ואכרע עברך לפני אדוני עושי. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך ענני באמת אישך. You may be seated. Let us read together. Source of light, of truth, and of the impulse within us towards justice and mercy. May this hour of worship be one of vision and inspiration. Help us to find knowledge by which to live. Let the words we speak enter our hearts and influence our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in search of you or in need of comfort and consolation. May the offering of their hearts be acceptable to you, and may the prayers we utter here bear fruit in acts of kindness, peace, and love. And just as the congregation is here to be a source of comfort and consolation for those in need, it is also a place for us to celebrate together. And we have the great privilege today, this morning, to celebrate 2 birthdays. So we thought we'll space them out a little bit, so we spread the joy. So if I could invite Sharif and his family to join me for a moment so that we can share a blessing with Sharif on the occasion of his birthday. And it's a great privilege to be able to celebrate with you. As I was thinking what would be the best quote to use from the wonderful sayings of our ancestors, I immediately thought of Hillel, who warned us, do not separate yourself from the community, because really, truly, you have found yourself into our community. It's not been quite a year ago that you first entered our community by coming to the Hebrew crash course. Not just you, but with the whole family, truly. And you didn't just learn a little bit of Hebrew. No, you've truly immersed yourself in our community, and you've become such a regular here that now we wonder, what's going on? Where's he traveling? Is he visiting Israel, buying za'atar for the rabbis? When you're not here. And it's really wonderful to also see that you're not just being part of the community, but taking responsibility and joining our team of wonderful shamases. So it's really this saying from Hillel, do not separate yourself from the community, so aptly applies to you, for you have truly heeded the call of community. But when I looked at it, I realized it is even more appropriate for you, because Hillel also warns, do not say, when I have time I will study, for you may never have time. And that too you have really embraced. You don't just study and say, oh, I don't have time to study. You study all the time. And it's such a privilege to study with you, to learn with you, and to learn from you as well. And so it's my privilege to be able to ask for God's blessing on the occasion of your birthday, as we celebrate with you for bringing yourself and your family into our community. And so we ask for God's blessing. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God reach out to you in tenderness and give you peace. Amen. And mazel tov. So with the blessings, we bring light into our midst for all of us together. And now I've lost my page, but we are on page 130. And together we say the blessing over studying, for we must remember, Hillel warns us, don't say you'll study later. It might be too late. So we say together on the top of page 130, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, vetzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We study the words of Micah. With what shall I approach the Eternal One? Shall I worship the God of heaven? Shall I come before God with burnt offerings? Will God be pleased with thousands of rams? Should I give my firstborn for my transgressions, fruit of my body for the sins of my soul? People tell you what is good, but what does the Eternal One require of you? To do justly and love mercy and walk humbly with your God. אלו דברים שאדם אוכל פירותיהם בעולם הזה, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא. כיבוד אב ואם וגמילות חסדים, והשכמת בית המדרש שחרית וערבית, והכנסת תוכים וביקור חולים, והכנסת כלה ולוויית המת ועיון תפילה, והבאת שלום בין אדם לחברו, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולם. Eternal God, may the words of Torah taste sweet to us and to all Israel, that we and our children and all the children of your people may come to know you by studying Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of your people Israel. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch hu, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, המהולל בפי עמו, משובח ומפואר בלשון חסידיו ועבדיו, בשבחות ובזמירות נגדל לך ונמליכך, מלכנו יחיד חי העולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מהולל בתשבחות. Sing for joy to the Eternal One, you who are righteous. Give thanks to the Eternal One with the lyre. Make music to God with the 10-string harp. Sing to God a new song, well with shouts of joy. For God's word holds good. The deed is done in faithfulness. The Eternal One loves righteousness and justice. Is full of God's kindness. By the Eternal One's word the heavens were made, and all their hosts by the breath of God's mouth. At a divine command the ocean waves rise, gather instead in the vaults of the deep. Let all the earth revere the Eternal One. Let all who dwell there stand in awe of God, who spoke and it was, and stood firm. How shall I sing of day and night when it is God who formed them? How shall I sing of heaven and earth when it is God who founded them? How shall I sing of mountains and hills when it is God who planted them? How shall I sing of deserts and seas when it is God who begot them? How shall I sing of earth and her fullness when it is God who bade them be? I shall sing of the one who fashioned them all, the one who is above them all, of God, God alone, I shall sing. Alleluia, Alleluia, el bekodsho, Alleluia, b'kiauzo, Alleluia, b'gevurotav, Alleluia, kerov gudlo, Alleluia, Alleluia, kashofar, Alleluia, Alleluia, b'nei echino, ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ. כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, שיר ושבחה, הלל וזמרה, ברכות והודאות, מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בשירי זמרה. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Praise the eternal one to whom our praise is due forever. Please be seated. Let us continue together in English at the top of page 136. We praise you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, maker of light and creator of darkness, author of peace and creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, creator of light. Ahava rabba ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu. Chemla gdola v'terachamalta aleinu. Avinu malkeinu ba'avur avotenu shebatchu v'cha. V'telamdem chokei chayim. Ken techonenu utelamdenu. V'ten belibeinu lehavin ulehaskil. Lishmoa, lilmod ulelamed. Lishmor v'la'asot ulekayem et kol divrei toratecha be'ahava. והאר עינינו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך. קיוונו בחרת ליחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. We rise together for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. You may be seated. תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Good and beautiful and true, sound established and enduring are these words now and forever. True it is, eternal one, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. Chavalim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele. שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, גואלנו אדוני, צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גואל ישראל, גואל ישראל, ישראל. I invite you to stand for the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. אל חיים וחסד, מחיי מתים ורחמים רבים, סומך נופלים רופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית מחיה ומצמיח ישוע. ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. We sanctify your name on earth, as in the prophet's vision the hosts of heaven sing your praise above, for so it is written. Kadosh, Kadosh, Adonai Tzvaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kavodo, Kavodo male olam. Baruch Kavod Adonai, Mimkomo. From your concealment, majestic one, reveal yourself and rule over us, for you are our hope. Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Zion, ledor vador, Hallelujah. From generation to generation we will make known your greatness. To the end of time we will proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O our God, shall never depart from our lips. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. You may be seated. You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When upon its coming we pause to contemplate our life, we learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by the spiritual nourishment we receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for the Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the quality of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good. Yismachu b'malchutcha, Yismachu b'malchutcha, Shomerei Shabbat v'korei oneg, Am kadshei Shavi'i, Am kadshei Shavi'i, Kulam Yisma'u v'yidangu mitovecha, V'ashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto, V'ashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto, Chemdat yamim oto karata, Zecher Lema'aseh Bereshit. And together, our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments, and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Retzeh Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam b'ahava tikabel, utehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha v'yira na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלאותיך וטובותיך שבכל עת, ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. One peace, welfare and blessing. Grace, love and mercy to us and to all Israel, your people. As a loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence. For by the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. What is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. Take some time for silent prayer. לפניך, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם.
And so we turn to our Torah service, and this week you'll find the Torah service on page 490. Page 490. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear and learn to revere the Eternal One your God, and observe faithfully all the precepts of this Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere the Eternal One, your God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shema. Gadlul Adonai iti unromama shemo yachdav. Let us magnify the Eternal One. Together let us exalt God's name. Please sit down. It always seems, how often I've said it, that I've bored you. But I'm not the only rabbi to say it, that so often the Torah portion fits in with events of the week. And in the middle at the moment of reading about the plagues. And actually, this week's Torah portion has the last three plagues. And they all somehow or other have connection with what's going on in the wider world. The eighth plague is the plague of locusts. It was always wondered, why is, the plagues get more and more severe towards the end. Why is this one sort of getting near the end? Well, if anyone saw pictures of what's happening in Africa at this very moment, you will see the plagues where, in fact, the locust is a most terrible plague, because not only does it eat the crops that are this year, but particularly amongst the trees, they start eating the bark and the whole range of things. So that in fact it affects not just this year, because it's eaten everything. All the seed has gone and so on. That next year there's nothing as well, and maybe for some years to come. So it really is a devastating disease. And I don't know if you saw these poor farmers trying to flap their hands around, trying to trace them away, but it's impossible. And in a way, it leads on to the ninth plague, which we are going to read from the Torah. The ninth plague, because it suddenly struck me that the the plague of locusts is also a bit like the ninth plague, the plague of darkness, because as far as I couldn't see it on the film on television, but certainly I've read accounts that sometimes the plague of locusts is so thick that it turns day into night. I remember we were in Sweden once by the lakes, and there were plagues of mosquitoes or midges, and again you look out of the car window and it's almost dark because of this, and how horrific it is today. It must have been the same as well. And actually the plague of darkness we're going to read about, what about that? Well, I read everything. What was it all about? Now, the quick explanation there is sort of an eclipse or something like that, but that doesn't seem long because it took, as we'll see, for 3 full days. That's a long time. And I think the most, if it is a description of a plague people actually had suffered, it probably was a very thick dust storm, which can blot out the sun sometimes for days. And again, when we think of what's going on in Australia, on top of the fires, they were then followed by dust storms in which I read that, in fact, it turned day into night. We realise that we look at some of the natural occurrences around the world at the very moment, and we call them plagues, they're mirrored already by what went on in Torah times. And so on this day, you said it's the first day of the month, it's also the first day after Brexit. And maybe, I don't know what your sermon's going to be about later, about darkness, descending into darkness, but I won't go there. But actually, of the plagues we're going to have, it's the plague of darkness, and I'll leave you to comment on that. Oh, sorry. I'm forgetting, you see, I'm out of touch, aren't I? You can find it, if you've got the new Chumash, it's on page 407, right at the bottom, Exodus chapter 10. If you've got the old Chumash, it's page 460 something or other. Can't read my writing and nothing has changed.
Baruch Hu etz Adonai HaMavorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ator Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'noten lanu et torato. Baruch Ator Adonai Notain HaTorah. Amen.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, God said to Moses, raise your hand to the heavens, Vayihi choshech al kol eretz Mitzrayim, and there will be darkness over all the land of Egypt. Vayomesh choshech, and it will be a very thick darkness. Vayat Moshe et yado al hashamayim, and Moses raised his hand towards the heavens. Vahi choshech hafeilah b'chol eretz Mitzrayim shaloshet yamim, and there was darkness, a very deep darkness over all of the land of Egypt for 3 days. V'lo ra'u ish et echav, v'lo kamu ish mitachtav shaloshet yamim, and one person could not see the next person, and people didn't get up from their houses for 3 days. However, for the children of Israel, they had light in their dwellings. Vayikra Paro el Moshe, and Pharaoh said to Moses, Vayomer, and he said, L'chu, ivdu et Adonai, go, leave and serve the Eternal One. Rak tzonachem uvakarachem yutzag, but leave behind your flocks and your herd behind. But gam tapachem yelechem, however your children can go with you. Vayomer Moshe, and Moses says, gam atati tein biadenu tzavachim olot va'asinu ladonai Eloheinu. However, I don't agree to that, he said, because you're going to give us some animals so that we can go and sacrifice to the Eternal One, our God. V'gam miknechem yelech imanu, and we're going to take our own cattle with us. Lo tisha'er farsa, and we won't leave a hoof behind. Ki mimenu nikach la'avod et Adonai Eloheinu, because we need to take these so that we may worship and we may sacrifice to the Eternal One, our God. Va'anachnu lo nedar ma na'avod et Adonai ad banu shama, and we're not going to. We don't know how many we're going to need that God hasn't told us, and we'll find out when we get there. Ezach Adonai et lev Pharaoh, and the Eternal One hardened Pharaoh's heart. V'lo avo l'shalachem, and he wouldn't let them go. Vayomer lo Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said to Moses, Lech me'alai, get away from me. Hashomer lecha et al tasif ra'ot panai, and you shouldn't see my face again. Ki v'yom eticha panai tamut, because the day you come and see my face again, you will die. Vayomer Moshe kein dibarta, and Moses said, you spoke correct. Lo osif od ra'ot panecha, I will not see your face again.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam, v'tein hakmatenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
Please rise. Please sit down. And I'm reminded that it's a long time since I've read from the Colleen Scroll, how beautiful it is to read. Amongst other things, it's quite unique in that it has gaps between the sentences, which most scrolls don't. They just carry straight on. And since this is the oldest scroll we have, perhaps they knew something way back then. And so we move on to the Haftarah, which also mentions Pharaoh. It's set in Jeremiah, talking against Egypt. It's a very strange thing because at the time of Jeremiah, the two major powers in the world was Babylon to the east and Egypt to the west. And the kings of Judah were trying to make pacts with Egypt, but Jeremiah always said it's the wrong thing to do. The main power is going to be Babylon, and we must make pacts with Babylon. But still, the leaders decided to follow Egypt, and that was a big mistake because in the end, it's Babylon that destroys Jerusalem and Judea. And the saddest thing of it all is that Jeremiah had been urging the people all along to to be loyal to Babylon, not Egypt. The Babylonians captured Judea, but Jeremiah is taken down a captive into Egypt, the very place that he'd been warning them not to go. So life sometimes is very unfair, and it certainly was no different for Jeremiah. We're going to read from... I think it's marked here, isn't it? From the book of Jeremiah, chapter 46. I'll find it in a minute. Coming up very soon. Yeah.
Where's
Oh, you got it there.
Snap.
Chapter, page 427, page 427, Jeremiah 46.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'ahav b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza b'dhem ha'ne'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah, u'Moshe avdo, u'Yisrael amo, u'nevi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek.
This is the word the Eternal One spoke to Jeremiah, the prophet, concerning attack on Egypt by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Declare it in Egypt, announce it in Migdol, and in Memphis and Tahpanhes. Say, take your stand, be ready, for the sword is devouring all around you. What did chaff flee? Your champion did not stand fast, for the Eternal has driven him away. He made many stumble, one falling over the next, and they said, quick, let us go back to our people, to the land where we were born, away from the flashing sword. There they called Pharaoh, king of Egypt, Big Noise, who has missed his chance. As I live, says the Eternal One, the sovereign God of heaven's hosts. Oh, I think so. Perhaps I'm to go on.
Problem?
Well, I thought I was only going down to here. Do I go on to here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Doing
Table.
so well, we might as well have the whole lot.
Sorry about the confusion. It's these amateurs, you know. As Tabor is among the mountains, as Carmel is by the sea, so shall Nebuchadnezzar come. Pack your bags for exile, fair Egypt, dwelling so safe and sound. Memphis will become a desolation, an uninhabited ruin. Egypt is a lovely heifer, upon whom a gadfly from the north has descended. Even the mercenaries in her midst were like fatted calves, for they too have turned and fled as one, making no stand. For their day of disaster had come upon them, their hour of doom. Hear her hiss like a snake, when the Babylonians come in force to attack her with axes, like wood choppers. Says the Eternal One, they cut down her forest, impenetrable though it is, for they outnumber the locusts and cannot be counted. Fair Egypt shall be put to shame, given over to a northern people. The God of heaven's host, the God of Israel, says, behold, I punish Ammon, God of the town. No. And Pharaoh and Egypt and her gods, and her kings, Pharaoh and all who trust in him, I'm handing them over to those who seek their lives, to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and his army. But later on, it will be inhabited as in the days of old. That is the word of the Eternal One.
We praise you, Eternal One, our God, sovereign of the universe. You have been our source of strength and righteousness throughout the ages, the faithful God whose word is deed, whose every word is true and just. Al HaTorah, Al HaRadav, Al Nevi'im, Al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh, Shenata Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Likdusha V'Limnucha, L'Chavod U'Tiferet, Ahal Kol Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu Modim Lach, U'Vrachim Otach, Yitbarach Shimcha B'fi Kol Chai Tamid Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
So we continue with our service on page 492. Page 492. So at the bottom of 493, let's read together. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country, and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. Misha Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all our brothers and sisters of the house of Israel, who enter synagogues to pray and to give aid to those in need. May the Holy One, to whom all praise is due, hear their prayers and help them to fulfill their aspirations for good. Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all of its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision, that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. Hallelujah et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. This is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel in time to come, says the Eternal One. I will put my teaching within them and engrave it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No longer shall anyone need to teach a friend or a neighbor to know me, for they shall all know me, young and old alike.
As the world marked 75 years since the liberation of Auschwitz, with big commemoration events, and more importantly, with a range of highly educational and important TV programs in the past weeks, I find myself wondering yet again how human beings could let this happen. The evidence today is quite clear that what was being done to the Jews and the Sinti and Roma was neither a secret to the Germans nor to the wider world. And yet, with a few praiseworthy exceptions, nobody really acted to stop it. I often ask myself, would I have been different than most? I wish I could easily answer in the affirmative, but I also know that even I am capable to get so used to the utterly abnormal that I no longer notice it. When I was in rabbinical school, one of my classmates had a serious chronic illness. Often several times a week, she would have an epileptic seizure during our lesson and collapse on the floor. The first few times it happened, we would stop class and look after her until she had fully regained consciousness. But over time, and with her encouragement, we got used to the situation, so that eventually we would only pause for the short moment of the actual seizure, make sure that she was safe, and then continue class as if nothing was happening while she was lying unconscious on the floor. It only occurred to us quite how much we had got used to the utterly abnormal when a new student joined our class in the 4th year, who was deeply shaken by the experience of witnessing the seizure and watching us all continue class as if nothing had happened. As we sat together after class to talk about it, another one of my classmates quietly observed, "Well, now we know that's how the Holocaust happened." Maybe this is the reason why the 9th plague, which we have just read in our weekly portion, is the plague of darkness. Maybe the plagues were not just for Pharaoh, so that he would let the Israelites go. Maybe they were also supposed to wake up the Egyptians and encourage them to challenge their leader about the mistreatment of the Israelites. Having already been struck with the metaphorical darkness that turned the Egyptians blind to the plight of the Israelites, with the 9th plague, they are now struck with a physical darkness, as the Torah describes it, a darkness that can be touched. Sadly, it is so easy for us human beings to find ourselves blinded by the metaphorical darkness of getting used to the abnormal and not wanting to see the terrible things that happen often right in front of our eyes. One of the common features of most of the tragic stories of children and vulnerable adults who are failed by the system that is supposed to keep them safe is the revelation that many people did know that something was going wrong, but they didn't put 2 and 2 together. They didn't want to intrude into the personal affairs of someone else, didn't want to risk raising false accusations. It often feels safer and seems easier to pretend to be blind to what is happening in front of our eyes. And so the plague of darkness continues to strike in our day. But we should read our parasha carefully and as a warning. The plague of darkness is followed by the 10th and the most awful plague, the death of the firstborn. For if we allow darkness to settle in our midst, we are no longer able to prevent the most terrible things from happening. This is why it is so crucial that we as a synagogue, just like other organizations that work with children and vulnerable adults, do all we can to create an environment that will prevent the plague of darkness arising in our midst. The language that is used in the UK for this today is good safeguarding practice. For NPLS, safeguarding means the action we take to promote a safe culture in our community, a culture that keeps everyone safe, children and vulnerable adults, as well as those who work to teach and support them. It means promoting the welfare of children, young people, and adults so that we can help to prevent abuse from occurring. It means that we do our best to seek to protect those who are at risk of being abused and respond well to those who have been abused. It means that we take care to identify where a person may present a risk to others and offer support to them whilst taking steps to mitigate such risk. In order to truly be able to promote and create a safe and wholesome culture, we provide thorough training for all our volunteers and staff members who work with children and vulnerable adults. This training helps us to reflect on how we can best teach and support children and vulnerable adults while keeping them and us safe. It ensures that everyone knows how to recognize the signs when we should be concerned, and understands that when we see things, we must act and let the safeguarding coordinator, that's me at NPLS, know right away. So that as a synagogue, we will not allow ourselves to stand by shrouded in darkness. But it is not enough for there to be a safeguarding coordinator, not enough for clergy and others involved in the synagogue's work, both paid and volunteers, to have done their training. Safeguarding is a matter for everyone. Every person is responsible for playing their part in ensuring NPLS can excel in safeguarding. And so my very simple, possibly predictable, but I hope clear message about safeguarding is that if you become aware of something that you feel is just wrong, don't keep it to yourself. Please tell me, NPLS, the safeguarding coordinator, or Rabbi Aaron or Angela, our care coordinator, or a teacher or a care team member or a board member. Just tell someone. Please don't ignore it. If you see something that makes you wonder whether you should say something, make sure you do. As the somewhat annoying security messages on trains and tubes remind us, see it, say it, sort it. And yes, of course, many times situations of abuse or potential abuse are anything but straightforward, and sorting it can often be a long and complicated process. But if we don't at least try by saying something, we too will bear some responsibility for allowing the plague of darkness to resurface over and over again. As we are marking Mental Health Shabbat alongside synagogues across the UK today, let us pledge to each do our part in creating a safe and wholesome culture in our community, a culture where light will have the power to conquer darkness. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. Amen. So you got spared with the Brexit sermon. The darkness theme seemed to hang heavy to this Shabbat. And of course, it's also the actual story of Exodus that we read. Also, of course, in light of the fact that President Donald Trump announced his new peace initiative this week. But I thought it was important that on this Shabbat, as we are thinking about mental health, we remind ourselves how important it is that we each contribute to creating a safe environment for everyone's mental health to be able to be nurtured in our community. And so we rise today at the end of the service with our concluding prayers for Aleinu on page 520. Page 520. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. And it has been said, the Eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day the Eternal God shall be one, and known to be one. והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. It is hard to feel serene when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone. Yet in the emptiness their passing leaves behind, we are not alone. For we have the companionship of the living, and even our loved ones who have died live on in our hearts. For what they were is part of what we have become. We honor them best when we live as they would wish, responsibly and happily, even in the shadow of our loss, and so draw closer to the source of life, in whom every life finds meaning, purpose, and hope. And on this Shabbat we think of those whose yahrzeit falls at this time. Arthur William Ryder, the father of Rachel Andrews, Dolly Cohen, the aunt of Annabel Cohen, Kenneth Cole, the father of Penny Custer and Nigel Cole, Nathan Hart, the father of Lawrence Hart, Luana Holland, and Naomi Thorley, Queenie Wolfson, the mother of Jeannie Perry, Rodney Lee, the father of Mark Lee, Rose Jordan, the mother of Peter Jordan, Ziggy Gordon, the father of Michael Gordon. We regret to announce the recent death of Betty Gilroy, the mother of our member Penny Sherwood and David Gilroy, and Lily Seagull, the mother of our member Colin, mother-in-law of Marilyn. Zichronam livracha, May the memory be a source of blessing to us always as we recite together the Kaddish on page 524. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach yirotei v'yamlich malchotei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman karev v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadal v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'rechu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, gamiran balma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'el kol Yisrael, v'el kol b'nei Adam, v'imru amen. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us and all Israel. Let us say, amen. May be seated. In a moment, we're going to conclude with Ein Keloheinu on page 528. Just before we do, a couple of announcements. Of course, next Shabbat, Shabbat services as usual. Lovely Friday night service, 8:30 p.m. Saturday morning service at 11 a.m. as normal. If you are keen on learning a little bit of music to help us enrich our service musically and help Kanta Tamara leave a legacy behind, and you want to learn some of the nosach, some of the special tunes that you can use to sing some of our prayers, then Kanta Tamara is offering that as a little workshop straight after the Shabbat morning service next week. You're not required to be a perfect singer, nor do you have to be able to read music. You just have to come along and enjoy yourself. Also next week here at NPLS, of course, our Holocaust Learning UK Week, formerly known as our Northwood Holocaust Memorial Day events, will of course be happening here again, welcoming almost 3,000 school kids to the synagogue to learn about the Holocaust. There's going to be a wonderful public event as part of it, which unfortunately is booked out beyond capacity, so I can't invite any more along to the public event because according to fire regulations we're not allowed to fit more than 286 people into this sanctuary. But it is really a wonderful program that we offer to the local schools, and so many of you volunteer for it, and really a great big gratitude to everyone who has been volunteering for that. If you enjoy music, we are starting, it's a new thing that we're exploring whether it's going to be popular. We're starting lunchtime recitals, and we'll be hosting on the 12th of February at 12:30. It's a Wednesday, just afternoon. We'll be hosting the Kumori Saxophone Quartet, and they will perform masterworks of the quartet repertoire, including pieces by French composer Gabriel Piernet and English composer Jonathan Dove. So if you love saxophone music, then do come along. It's promising to be a lovely lunchtime recital. Just if you can, just drop in. No need to register. Just join us. If you do enjoy music, and the classical music is a little bit too heavy for you, and you like the amateurs and not the professionals, then do join us on Friday, the 14th of February, at 6:30 p.m. Postpone your Valentine's dinners that you have planned to after the service, and join us for our annual Tu B'Shvat Flower Power service. We encourage everyone to come dressed up in their best 60s and 70s gear, and the rabbis always dress up, so you can have something to look forward to. Every year we have to top ourselves with better outfits than the previous year, so but it's going to be great fun. We have a live band with us which the live band will probably be much better than the rabbis. So, but it's promising to be a wonderful evening, just a bit of fun. If you can't be here live, do join us online. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, wherever you wish to watch. If the lighthearted isn't for you, and you want to do some studying with us, then you can either join our Access to Judaism class, which is meeting straight after this service, to explore the beginning of the Jewish life cycle. So I think from birth to Kabbalat Torah, we're going to make it. So the younger years of the life cycle. Or if you want to improve your Hebrew, our Hebrew crash course will be happening again from the 13th to the 15th of March. It's a wonderful weekend, teaching at several levels, so there's something for everyone. So if you do want to join us for studying, that is always a wonderful opportunity. I think that keeps us busy for quite a little while. So we're going to continue with Ein Keloheinu, conclude with Ein Keloheinu even, on page 528. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kamalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadonenu, Micheloheinu, Michamoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, El Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Tahu Adonenu, Tahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. We rise for a final blessing. מי ששיכן את שמו בבית הזה, הוא ישכין ביניכם אהבה ואחווה, ושלום ורעות. May the one whose presence dwells in this house cause love and harmony, peace and friendship to dwell among us. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Do join us for Kiddush next door.